I just want to thank everybody for being here once again. Just to give you an intro, I'm Saman and I lead Ledger's social media presence across the board. And first and foremost, I want to start off this space by saying we've heard you guys. We've heard you guys across the board when you've been asking when HBAR on all our social channels. And our team has been working on this. The integration will be ready very soon, but we aren't announcing the date yet because we're just putting some final touches on it. And yeah, I know lots of people on the social team, all of our community managers have been responding to you guys, telling you that something's in the works. So we're happy to let you know that, the integration is in the works, and the date is very soon. But first and foremost, it would be awesome if Brandon and Elaine, if you guys could introduce yourself real quick. I'm just going to be troubleshooting while you do that, and trying to get Roman on stage. So yeah, tell us about yourselves. How long have you been with Hedera? Tell us everything.
Great.
All right, I guess I'll go ahead, Elaine.
Okay, thanks, Brandon. My name is Elaine. I lead one of the funds within the HBAR Foundation. The HBAR Foundation is the grant-giving and growth-oriented entity within the Hedera space. Within our foundation, we have 4 funds that are organized to target specific verticals or topics that we think are important for the Hedera ecosystem. One of them is the Metaverse Fund, which focuses on metaverse, gaming, NFTs. We have one on payments and fintech, which deals with stablecoins and CBDCs and cross-border API-based payments, which we think are really important and that the Hedera network is perfectly suited for. And we're also one of the only foundations and networks to have a sustainability impact fund of this size, which focuses on growing the sustainability economy, again, because we know that Hedera is the best chain for that. And then I lead the Crypto Economy Fund, which really is about designing and promoting economic behavior on the Hedera ecosystem. As part of that, I work closely with the various on-ramps and accessibility points, which include partners like Ledger. And so we're really excited to see Ledger go live soon. We're told that there are just a few little things on the Ledger side that need to be handled, and we're hoping that that gets handled today. And yeah, I've been in the Hedera ecosystem for about 7 to 8 months. Prior to that, I led token listing and crypto partnerships at OKCoin, which is a fiat to crypto spot exchange based out of San Francisco. And even at my time at OKCoin, I was familiar with the Hedera ecosystem, primarily because of kind of its revolutionary technology in the Hashgraph consensus. So I'm really excited to chat with you guys today, introduce you a bit to the Hedera ecosystem, and then just show how excited we are for HBAR to be supported on Ledger Live.
Amazing. Thank you for that intro. And then, yeah, maybe before Brandon, if Roman, you just want to say hey since we got you up on stage.
Sure. Hello, everyone, and thank you. And sorry for being a bit late. I'm here now. So, Hedera team, glad to have you here to celebrate the upcoming release of the integration of Hedera on Ledger Live. We talked a lot on Discord. We talked a lot on Google Meet. Now we're on stage to talk about the integration, so it's great. So, a quick introduction about myself. My name is Roman. I'm a product manager at Ledger. And I'm part of a team of product people, engineer, testers, basically blockchain experts. And our job at the blockchain support team is basically to assist external team as Hedera to build on top of Ledger, to build on top of a product. So what does it mean exactly to build on top of Ledger Live? Basically, our DNA, as you know, it has always been to be as open source as possible. And in 2021, we decided to basically allow external partners like foundations, like projects, like Hedera, like Solana, like Cardano, other projects, to basically integrate their blockchain to Ledger Live and to develop some kind of platformization solution. So basically now anyone can integrate the blockchain to Ledger Live, and we are here as a team to help them. So now, after Elrond, after Celo, after Solana, we are really glad to announce that in the coming days, we'll release the Hedera Ledger Live integration that has been handled at 100% by the Hedera team, which has been extremely talented on this. So congratulations, and happy to be there with you to talk about the upcoming release.
Thank you for that intro, Roman. And I hope also to our audience, some of you might know Hedera, might not know Ledger, or maybe the other way around. So I hope that gives you guys an idea. And then last but definitely not least, Brandon, tell us about yourself.
Yeah, my name's Brandon. I've been covering Hedera news and events going back to 2018. I was an early ambassador with Hedera, and most recently, I've been working with the HBAR Foundation on education and community outreach and things like that. Just going back to, the vision of Hedera certainly caught the attention of traditional crypto investors, but it also resonated with people that were new to the space. This was a while back, but we did a poll, and for nearly a third of HBAR investors, HBAR was their first cryptocurrency. It's not the normal progression of first getting into Bitcoin and then getting into Ethereum and then going into altcoins. It resonated with people, and they bought it as their first cryptocurrency. And many of these investors, being new, they may not have been as crypto savvy as some, and having a trusted and easy to use custody solution like those provided by Ledger is really critical. So we appreciate it.
Awesome. Thank you. So I said earlier on that there might be people here who, know Ledger, might not know Hedera. So could you guys give us just an introduction to the project, its origins, and yeah, tell us more about that. Maybe Elaine and Brandon.
Absolutely. So at a base layer, the Hedera network is a third generation smart contract platform. We are EVM compatible and also carbon negative. What this means that because of the Hashgraph consensus, which is unique and revolutionary to the Hedera network, we're able to be incredibly light, both from a technical perspective, but also from an environmental footprint. So in this front, we're really proud, and we believe that Hedera as a network will be one, if not the best, scalable DLT out there for both enterprises and retail users. Since the inception of the network, we've charted, I think, a unique path that we think has ultimately proven to be successful and sets the network and the ecosystem up for success. The network itself is governed by the Hedera Governing Council, which is a group of up to 39 organizations who are committed to and currently building on the Hedera network. The Governing Council today is filled with the likes of IBM, Google, LG, DLA Piper, Avery Dennison, all of these large enterprises who are mature and committed to building on the Hedera network, precisely because of the confidence they have in the actual technical capabilities of the network itself. In the last year, the network has really prioritized and put more emphasis on what we like to call at the HBAR Foundation the more crypto native use cases. We have staking that's gone live, I guess earlier this year through our partners at Stater Labs. We'll have DEXs coming on live in the next couple of months. And all of this is because of the recent mainnet launch of our EVM compatible smart contracts. We call this smart contracts 2.0. Basically, they're smart contracts written in Solidity that take on the benefits of the Hedera network, which again allow for users to build on the inherent scalability and reliability of the network on an enterprise grade level. And so we're excited to kind of see Ledger Live and Ledger Live integration as one more step towards increasing accessibility into the Hedera network. We're really excited, and I'm excited to kind of show you guys the growth that we anticipate in the coming quarters.
Awesome. And Brandon, if you have anything to add to that.
No, she covered it well. It's just Hedera has, true finality in seconds. It's ABFT, which is the highest level of security, and I really haven't heard that too much in the space with other platforms. It's carbon negative. The fees are paid in HBAR, but priced in dollars, which makes it easy to use for enterprises. So there's a lot of really good aspects when it comes to Hedera.
Interesting. Okay. So, we understand that Hedera doesn't function like a traditional blockchain on Ledger Live, Roman, and that it works a little bit differently than other projects we've integrated. Um, could you walk us through the differences in how to import your account into Ledger Live? I know the function isn't available yet, but we just want to put it out there since this is recorded for anybody listening who will jump on the release when they can. Can you just walk us through that, Roman?
Sure, of course. So I won't elaborate too much about how the Hedera hash graph is actually working as a technology, as a protocol. Here, what I want to talk is about how it works on the Ledger Live integration and how users will be able to add an account and interact with HBAR within Ledger Live. So basically, the main difference here is that in order to add an Hedera account to Ledger Live, you will need to first have an account ID. Basically, an account ID is the equivalent of an Hedera receive address. And this account ID will need to be already associated to your Ledger device. In this particular case, the Ledger Live app will retrieve your account instantly, and you will be able to receive and send HBAR without any problem. If it's not the case, meaning if you don't have an account ID already associated to your Ledger device, you'll need to follow just a few steps following a really simple tutorial, which will be linked into the Ledger Live application. So you just have to follow the step. This difference in the account creation flow in Ledger Live is due to the fact that on Hedera hash graph, in order to create an account, you need another party to process some kind of account create transaction. So you need a third party to do it. And this is by design very different than Bitcoin or Ethereum, where you can basically derive an address from the device only. So basically, long story short, if you were already interacting with Hedera Wallet with your Ledger device, you'll be able to sync your account on Ledger Live. And if not, you will need to follow a few steps in order to set up an Hedera account with your Ledger device. And of course, if you need any help on this, our great support team is here to answer all your questions.
Yes, exactly. And for anybody wondering if you have support questions, their dedicated Twitter account is ledger_support, or you can contact them at ledger.support.com and open a ticket. So, but that's for later when it's released, and hopefully you guys won't have any issues. Thanks, Ramon, for that explanation. So, you know, for those of us who maybe have followed Ledger for a while, we had an event back in December called Ledger Open, and we're going to be having the second installation of it in June. And, when we say Ledger Open, we don't take that word lightly because, as Roman was saying, we're really, really interested in working with developers to build on Ledger Live. And so, yeah, Roman, can you explain quickly why integrations of different projects like Hedera is super important for Ledger to grow as an ecosystem? And then maybe if after that, if the Hedera team can step in and just share what the integration was like from Hedera's point of view as well. So maybe Roman, if you want to.
Sure, of course. Sorry. So why is it so important to integrate the top projects? So Ledger, or core business proposition, is basically to be the most secure venue to store your private key and to interact with the blockchain ecosystem. But from this vision, we evolved a lot to be a multi-currency wallet and to be the one-stop shop to interact with Web3 and to the whole blockchain ecosystem. So basically, we need to have as many projects, as many blockchain integrated within Ledger Live. Why do we need that? Because blockchain support, protocol support is the base layer for anything. When you have protocol support, you can do great stuff. You unlock staking feature, which could be a native staking feature or liquid staking feature, such as what HBAR is proposing with Tether. You also unlock live app features because we now have the decentralized application section within Ledger Live. You also unlock NFT feature. So basically, by adding the top blockchain, the top project, and by working with really talented partners that build on top of Ledger, we unlock a ton of great feature for users. So basically, our mission at Ledger is to be the one-stop shop for everything crypto and to provide a secure and easy-to-use venue to our user. And why it's so important, last thing, it's because our collaboration with external partners, we want to build on top of our product, is really at the core vision of what we do. And basically nothing would be possible without a partner like Hedera or others. So last thing, if there are some builders listening here, Ledger is an open platform. Anyone can build on top of our products. What I would suggest, of course, is first to join our developer Discord, to interact with our community, to talk with our developers, to talk with us. And we also have a developer documentation, the Ledger Developer Portal, which is like the cooking recipe to build a cool product on top of Ledger. And just join us on the Discord, say hello, interact with the community. There are some cool people here, and we'll be glad to assist you in your development journey.
Awesome. And that's developers.ledger.com for anybody who missed it and is curious. And Hedera team, what was the process like in terms of integration from your side? How did it go?
So we definitely thought it went really well. I think, there were some learning points on both of our ends. But I think, what was so impressive was how both teams were able to work together on this. The one thing that I absolutely want to call out is that, in my perspective, this very much is one of the first major experiences that the ecosystem has had where, various decentralized parties come together to build and bring value into our community. A lot of the heavy lifting was actually done by one of our developer advocates named Simi, who's over at Swirls Labs. Swirls Lab is one of the major contributors to the Hedera network. And so we had one independent entity called Swirls part of this process. Obviously, the HBAR Foundation was part of the process as well. And then the developers over at the Ledger team. So it really was a coordinated and decentralized effort to bring Hedera support on Ledger Live, which from my perspective is just so beautiful to see when you see collaboration kind of grow organically in a decentralized manner. And so, for us, we really like to see the industry and the ecosystem move towards decentralization and having multiple players be a part of it so that we can actually see, one, that progress and innovation is faster, right? You have more people working on different things, but it's also more diverse, right? So we're seeing, teams able to react to the various market demands that we're seeing. And so, I think the process was for us like a good pressure test of how decentralization works within the Hedera ecosystem. And I think that it was a resounding success.
Nice. I don't know if Brandon, you want to add to that?
No, it was well covered.
Perfect. Cool. So for those of people in our audience who might be familiar with Hedera but aren't totally sure and are thinking of maybe getting involved via the integration, what would the holders of Hedera benefit from holding the token? What is the ecosystem like for holders? Could you tell us about it?
Sure. The HBAR asset is a dual utility asset. So it's used for network gas fees, and it's also used to secure the network. Like I mentioned, we have staking available, or we have a liquid staking project on the network through Hedera Labs. So users can stake their HBAR and receive a liquid token called HBARX, which allows you to be more flexible as you stake your HBAR. Protocol-based staking will go live, we believe, in the next quarter or 2 quarters as well, which adds more optionality for HBAR holders to engage or put their HBAR to use. One thing that I think is really interesting is, the fact that the network itself is so cheap means that it's really good for developers. So yes, holders and people who buy and hold on HBAR, we definitely are growing the ecosystem. So there are more avenues of utility for you. But on the developer perspective, it's actually quite economical to build on Hedera. We recently, and I guess actually Swirls recently published a blog post about, about the NFT growth on Hedera. And one of the stats that really stood out to me was the fact that you can mint a 10,000 NFT collection on Hedera for, I think it was something like $76 on Hedera, which is like a fixed cost. If you compare that to other ecosystems, it's about twice or almost three times as expensive, and those costs are variable. And so because of how the fee structure and because of how light the network is, Hedera really is an economical choice for developers, builders, creators, innovators to use when they are looking to found or build something in crypto.
Yeah, just to add on top of that, and well done, Elaine. As mentioned, the HBAR fees are paid in HBAR, but priced in dollars. And we're already one of, if not the most used network as far as transaction volume. And that's just catering to small and medium-sized applications. But enterprises are starting to come online. We have DLA Piper, one of the governing council members that's creating securitized tokens using something called Toko. We had Avery Dennison using Hedera for supply chain management with Atma.io. And ServiceNow is another council member who is looking to launch applications. And all of those fees from those applications are going to be able to be used to build out the network, to reward nodes, to reward token holders. So there's just going to be the potential with these enterprises coming online for explosive growth.
Awesome. You guys mentioned earlier when you were introducing Hedera that you guys are carbon negative. I was really curious, how does that work, if I got that right?
Yeah, well, it's just very, very efficient, and they simply just buy carbon credits to make it carbon negative.
Yeah, to expand
All
on
right.
that. So to expand on that, I think yes, the network itself is carbon negative. The way that happens is, like Brandon mentioned, the network itself is incredibly efficient. And so already our energy output, the footprint is just much smaller. We also have our Sustainability Impact Fund, which is a $100 million fund that invests in growing the sustainability ecosystem or sustainability markets on Hedera. And so as a result of that, we've been investing in or supporting other projects that are also trying to be, more carbon negative, in addition to aligning with broader ESG goals. And then from an operational perspective, the governing council purchases carbon credits to offset smaller operational fees. So I think one thing that we like to communicate and articulate is the fact that in addition to the network itself being technically efficient and light from an environmental perspective, as an ecosystem, as a community, we're very conscious about the role we play in the broader world, and we take actions to make sure that we are being responsible stewards. And so, in that regard, I think we're definitely leading the way when it comes to crypto being energy efficient and being a long-term and sustainable force within the industry.
Cool. Thank you for that answer. I just wanted to shout out to the community. Feel free to request to come up on stage and ask us questions. We're here to answer them and to interact with you. So please don't be shy. Top G, we see you there. We're just going to add you guys up as speakers as I ask the last question, and then we'll begin answering you guys. So really don't hesitate. Cool. So, I just had one last question for you guys before we turn to our audience. And that's kind of zooming back, looking at the state of the Web3 ecosystem right now. Some would say we're entering a bearish market, which is also a great time for contemplation and for people to kind of think about the projects they're working on. I think, often during bullish times, there's so much excitement, and it can be a bit much sometimes. But yeah, I just wanted to ask what you guys are looking forward to in this market, what your priorities are, something you're being careful about. Just wanted to put that out there. Maybe Roman?
Sure. I think you said something very interesting. Like, we were in the phase of extreme excitement and basically a bull market. When this happened, everybody's looking at the price. like it's complicated to actually focus, and we are always trying to do our best, but it could be sometimes hard to develop stuff. So what I like with bear market is this idea that it actually brought new users. It actually helped company and product to basically raise some money, and now it's maybe the time to chill down, to calm down, and to build the stuff, the new interesting stuff, new cool stuff for the next bull phase. So we'll see what's going to be next. At Ledger, our goal is always to provide the best experience for our customers, which will be secure, easy to use, and of course open source. And we'll keep working on this vision and provide new cool products for users, even in this potential, what we could call a bear market.
Thanks, Roman. What about you guys on the Hedera team?
Yeah.
Yeah, well,
Go ahead.
Go ahead, Elaine.
Brandon.
All right, yeah. So if you go check out the hbarfoundation.org/blog, you'll see all of the exciting use cases and things that the HBAR Foundation is supporting. It's really exciting stuff. You can also check out my YouTube channel, the HBAR Bull. We cover it. I can't even wrap my head around the stuff that comes out each week. So I'm just looking forward to what's going to be coming down the line in the months to come.
Yeah, we've talked a lot about kind of what the bear market means for the industry in the last couple of weeks. From my perspective, again, not having been in crypto very long, I got in probably mid 2018. But even since then, there have been, several bear markets, right? And one thing that I'm always kind of impressed with, or that I always remember in hindsight, is the fact that bear markets are actually a lot of the development that we see that ends up leading to a bull market happens in the bear market. We've seen, again, I think it's important to remember that the DeFi summer of 2020 came after what many considered a bear market, right? And so from my perspective, it's definitely tough for developers, for foundations, for projects. We always like to see a healthy and vibrant chart, but if you think about why, or if you kind of remember why you're in crypto in the first place, which really is to build either a new financial system or to make the world a better place or to make the world more efficient, those things all require time and a focus on building. And I think that when it comes to a bear market, it's almost better because you have quiet to reflect and be deliberate about what you think the next opportunity or the next innovation is going to be. From the HBAR Foundation perspective, for us, the only thing that a bear market changes is that we double down on supporting our ecosystem. We are well capitalized and we do a lot to ensure that, our treasury and our inventory is strong so that we can continue to support the ecosystem. So from a foundation perspective, our grants will not stop. We will continue to support founders and builders on the Hedera ecosystem. And if I'm being honest, that probably will be turned up, right? We probably will start, supporting more founders and more developers because we know that this time is just really important for people to build so that we come out of the bear market in a stronger and more vibrant ecosystem.
Thanks, you guys. That was really valuable insight from all of you. Cool. So let's turn to our speakers now. To our audience questions now. Maybe OC Lost Art. Do you want to go first?
Yeah, sorry for the noise. I just turned on my car, but I came in a little late. I am from the West Coast, so you guys just started a little early. But reading off the title, does that mean Hedera is now being integrated within the Ledger Live app?
Maybe Roman from our team wants to answer that.
Yes, you're exactly right. It's not done today, but in the coming days, we'll definitely be able to send and receive HBAR within Ledger Live application. Exactly.
Cool. So how would that work? Pretty much just transfer it from Hashpack over to, I guess, would it create a new public address?
So it depends. If for example, you're already using your Ledger device with my HBAR wallet or other compatible wallet, when you will import your account on Ledger Live, it will automatically sync and you will be able to send and receive. If it's not the case, then you will need to create an account ID associated to your Ledger device and then make the transfer between two of your accounts. And of course, if you have any question, you can reach out to the support and we'll help you make the transfer or set up your Hedera account.
One last question. Thank you very much for answering. Is there anything we need to do in Hashpack just to, set it and forget it if we're going to be using Ledger Live?
I'm not sure I understand your question, and I'm not very familiar with HPAC, so maybe my friends from Hedera can help on this one.
Yeah, I'm not sure off the top of my head, but we can get in touch with May with Hashback, and we'll see if we can get an answer for you.
Sounds good. Thank you guys very much.
Thank you for your question.
Perfect. Thanks, OC Last Start. Maybe Crypto Isaac, if you want to go next.
Hello, thanks for letting me speak today. I'm still new at Twitter and everything, so I just wanted to just let you guys know you guys are doing an amazing job. I've been into crypto since 2018, and I got my Ledger a year and a half ago, and I just remember feeling so excited when the apps catalog came out, and I literally check it every day to see what new apps are coming out, and it really helped me get into DeFi and find so many different tokens that I thought I would miss out on. Sorry. I'm trying to breathe really hard right now. I just got done running. But yeah, I just wanted to tell you guys I really love Ledger, and you guys make me feel really secure when I'm able to connect my wallet to trusted sites and be able to use it. So thank you.
Thank you so much for your feedback. It's great to hear some very nice feedback from users. So thank you very much. We'll keep on the good work, keep adding cool stuff like Hedera integration moving forward. And I hope you had a good run also.
Thank you.
Awesome. Thanks, Crypto Isaac. And yeah, we really appreciate that. And it's also in line with all the work we're doing with our partners. So we appreciate all of them as well. And then maybe if Ifani, sorry if I'm pronouncing that wrong.
No, you got it right. So first things first, thank you all for the awesome work that you do, both Hedera and Ledger. The question I have is more on the regulation side of things. I've read some articles that Ledger wallets or just personal storage wallets may not be allowed any longer. So I kind of want to know from that standpoint how you guys are navigating the regulation for that to support users. And then the second question I had was for the Hedera team. I just kind of want to know if there are any cool projects specifically for Africa that you guys know about and what those solutions are.
Cool. So I can answer you first regarding regulation. So this is a big topic, and Ledger, as an organization, as a company, is currently lobbying in Europe too to ensure that self-custody remains a priority. I think in the US, the concerns are a little less pressing, but all the same, as of now, you are in the clear. I think we have some policy kind of oriented blog posts that I can DM you after this space that kind of explain everything and explain Ledger's stances on regulation as well. But as of now, I believe that, as far as I know, there hasn't been any recent regulation against Ledger. Not sure if Roman, you want to jump into that before we move on to the Hedera side of the question about Africa.
No, I think you said it all. We are doing as much as we can to lobby. I think the best anyone can do in order to push against this regulation is to be vocal, to tweet, to contact people you can contact, and to basically push for this regulation not to happen. And be assured that our team at Ledger is doing really the maximum to make sure that self-custody is definitely a priority and something to look at.
Definitely. And if you browse through our older Twitter spaces, we actually did a regulation focused one with our VP of public policy, Seth. So yeah, have a look, and I just wrote down your username so I can send you our thought leadership articles and our stances on policy. So yeah, maybe Hedera team, you want to take the other half of the question?
Yeah, sure. So we have a council member in Africa, Standard Bank, and they're doing some work with stable coins. It's still proof of concept phase, but they're doing some interesting stuff. We also had a recent announcement with Temua, and Temua is a company specializing in the conversion of agri-waste into renewable alternative fuel sources. It's launching something called Cynic.io on the Hedera network, and the HBAR Foundation is supporting this, and they aim to digitize voluntary carbon markets to provide high-quality, transparent carbon credits while directly connecting sellers to buyers on the Hedera network. So there's all kinds of interesting stuff going on there. I was actually just on a live stream on Monday, and we have Tim on there fairly regularly. Shout out to Tim, and he's there in Africa, and they're working on all kinds of stuff. So yeah, we have plenty coming out of Africa, no doubt. Elaine, do you have anything to add?
Yeah, so we also have Zimbali Networks, which is very exciting. You know, they're trying to be a Web3 financial ecosystem, focused on the African continent, obviously built on Hedera as well. I think one thing that we've seen is really broad openness and adoption of Hedera in emerging markets, or I guess previously marginalized economies and communities, because of how light the network is and how low the barriers to entry are into both the ecosystem, but also onto the network from a technical perspective. And so, we think that we've seen a lot of interest in builders and investors on the CBDC and neobank side because of the scalability and reliability of the Hedera network. And so I think this year, we'll see a lot of those proofs of concept come to market, like the ones that Standard Bank are working on.
Yeah, I just actually did an interview with Silton with Zimbali, and yeah, their goal is to unlock the economic capabilities of billions of people throughout the world, and I think that's one of the main promises that a crypto has.
Hey, awesome. Well, thank you guys so much. For the Ledger team, obviously, I'm sure you guys are familiar with the XRP lawsuit and how the community is really supporting that case. So I guess for the Ledger situation, if you guys were, or if there's a way to maybe have the community support you throughout the cause, just let us know. Because obviously, I personally believe that each individual should have the right to manage their funds, obviously in a good way that does not affect anybody else in a negative aspect. So that's pretty much it.
Cool. Thanks, Ifani. Just want to be conscious of time, so let's move on to the next question. Maybe consumer to blockchain solutions, if you have a question for us.
Yes, this is Ryan from C2B Solutions. I just have a question about does the NFTs for HBAR, does it interface on Ledger Live? And also, is there a current NFT marketplace that you would recommend for commerce?
So maybe I can start on Ledger integration side. So NFT at Ledger, it's quite new stuff. We recently launched NFT support for Ethereum and Polygon. It's not available yet for Hedera. It's only a send and receive for HBAR. but it's definitely something that we could discuss with the Hedera team. And I will let the Hedera team handle the second part of the question.
Yeah, well, our NFT marketplace is vibrant. It's still small and nascent, but the two places I would suggest going for Hedera NFTs are Hash Access and Turtle Moon.
Okay, thank you.
And then in terms of expanding HBAR support on Ledger, we're very interested in doing that. And so I think the upcoming integration will be for Ledger Live Desktop. We anticipate mobile support to come shortly thereafter. And then whether it's NFTs or other Hedera tokens and their support on Ledger is definitely something that we'll be chatting with the Ledger team on to ensure that the Hedera and HBAR community have access to that.
Thank you.
Perfect. Maybe OC Pet Doctor, if you want to go next.
Good morning. Thank you for giving me the opportunity to ask a question. I apologize the question isn't pertaining to specifically the Ledger integration, although as a newer investor, it seems having that integration is going to be very important for HBAR moving forward. My question is more for the Hedera team. For the governing council, I would like to know a little bit more about the process for bringing on governing council members. It's been a while since I heard anything about new members being added. I was wondering, is this like an interview process? Do you have several candidates or companies that are interested in joining and you are essentially screening them? Is there a time frame for which they are added? I'd just like to know a little bit more about how that works.
Sure. So just to set the stage, the Hedera Governing Council is a group of up to 39 organizations who are committed to building on the Hedera network. Their primary roles and responsibilities include the general shepherding and support of the network. In terms of Governing Council membership, it's run similar to kind of like a board structure where there are different committees that vote on membership. The way the process works right now is, we either connect to or are connected to institutions and organizations that we believe will be good stewards of the network. And then that goes through a process of vetting and applications when it comes to joining the membership council. One thing that I definitely want to highlight is the fact that, we're anticipating community nodes coming to market and being open for the community towards the end of this year. And I think that also is something that we see as an important step towards the network's decentralization.
Thank you for the feedback.
Thanks for the question. And then last we have, I'm not sure if I'm pronouncing that right, but I think you know who you are.
Yeah, thank you for that. My question is basically around the integration between the ledger and also between Hashpack, because Hashpack is essentially a paper wallet, and what you do with that is I'm wondering with the transfer. So when the ledger live integration does come, is it something where we have to? So how my question is, how would it affect HBAR X, and would it be like a smooth transition, or would we have to come off of the Hashpack in order to jump onto Ledger? That's basically my question.
Maybe Roman or HBAR team? Hedera team?
Yeah, I'm not familiar with HBAC, but if I understand well, it is a paper wallet generation platform for Hedera. Am I right?
Yeah, that's correct.
I can jump in here. So the current integration or the upcoming integration will only be for HBAR. HBAR X is actually an HTS token. So HBAR is the native asset of the network. NFTs and tokens like HBAR X or JAM or Siki or Suku or the Galaxy tokens, they're all HTS tokens. And so those tokens, those HTS tokens, including HBAR X, which is the liquid staking token you would get from Stater, will not be supported on this iteration of the Ledger Live support. And so if you want to store your HBAR-X, that's something that would need to stay on Hashpack or any of the other wallets that you're using. Only the HBAR asset right now will be supported on Ledger Live. When it comes to setting up your account and all that, I think the Ledger Live team or the Ledger team will have kind of instructions on how to migrate or import your accounts.
Thank you very much. Yeah, that answers a lot of my questions. Thank you.
Perfect. Thanks for your questions, guys. Just in the interest of time, I'm going to ask the team who's up on stage here if they have any closing remarks before we wrap up. Anything that you just want to share with the audience, or something that's come to mind that would be interesting. Now's the time.
Yeah. Maybe I can start. First of all, I want to say thank you for all the attendees here, and I want to say thank you to the Hedera team, who has done an incredible job understanding our code base, building on top of our products, and providing a lot of value both to HBAR holders but to all Ledger users and to our products. So thank you for your great work. I hope this collaboration will continue. And again, if there are some builders in this Twitter space, don't hesitate to reach out to our Discord. Ledger is open. You can build on top of a product and contribute to the ecosystem.
Yeah, sure. I guess I'll go next. The one thing I want to bring up, we're talking about HTS tokens, and they're a little bit different than tokens that are built on the Ethereum network. They're built on the base layer. They have the Hedera token service, and we are getting all kinds of tokens that are getting built on the Hedera network, and they can all be transferred, at 10,000 transactions per second, and that's in a throttled state. We can handle actually a lot more than that when they want to bump up. But we have Jam token, which is a music streaming service. Same thing with Siki. We have Dovu, which is an environmental focused token. We have Galaxy, which Elaine mentioned, and that's their CEO is Spencer Dinwiddie, the NBA superstar, who's having a really good postseason. So the more integration we can get with those HTS tokens, the better. So I'm kind of pitching to Ledger to get support for them. I'd love to see it.
Awesome. And then maybe Elaine?
Just to wrap up, I think one thing that we as an ecosystem and definitely as a foundation are trying to get better at is trying to respond more quickly to community demand. And I think, there could be a scenario where you get really frustrated by this articulated demand. But from my perspective, it's actually really exciting. It really helps us sharpen our focus and our priorities. And so we really appreciate it when community members let us know what types of access or what types of products or services they're looking for. And so I wanted to first start by, thanking the community to, in their consistent and frequent kind of shout outs to us for Ledger Live support. From my perspective, we're really excited that we were finally able to provide this support to the community. And just to put it really simply, we're really looking forward to expanding Ledger support within the Hedera ecosystem, whether it's for HTS tokens on different platforms or applications. And I think that given kind of the success that we've had with this upcoming integration, I'm really hopeful for the future.
Amazing. Well, thank you everybody for coming out here. Thank you, Hedera team, also for your answers and for being here with us and for all the hard work that's been put in. I know Roman has mentioned our developers portal several times, but just want to say that if you're curious about it and you want to build with Ledger, we are open to it. It's developers.ledger.com. And yeah, thanks for joining us. If you have any questions, feel free to reach out to us on Twitter, or we have a support Twitter account, ledger_support. There's also support.ledger.com for tickets. But yeah, please feel free to reach out to us if any questions, and we'll be announcing the integration when it is live, which will hopefully be very, very soon. But it's not out yet. And you can always play this back if you have questions and you know that we've addressed them here. So it's recorded and you guys can listen to it later. Thank you. Thanks everybody. Bye.